Hello, everybody. Welcome to the CT Sports Talent Show. My name is Chris Saunders. I'm pleased to have on for the Defensive Player of the Week for Week 2 of the Connecticut high school football season, Jack Harvell, also known as Bubba, but I'll call him Jack. I know everyone calls him Bubba. He's a safety junior for the Stafford Summers East Windsor Co-op. Kind of a lot of teams co-opt in there, but Coach Mazzone threw your name in a hat and said, "Hey, give this kid a consideration." I did, and I was able to select you. So, Jack, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Before we get into obviously what happened in week 2, because I know you guys did not play in week 1, a couple minutes in, game gets, postponed because of lightning, the craziness of what week 1 was with that. But before we get into that, did you play a lot of varsity your sophomore year?
No, not really. For most of my sophomore year, I was just the kicker. And then I started seeing some reps by the end. But yeah, no real varsity playing time during my sophomore year.
So, with that being said, how did the defense end up becoming your position in terms of right now?
I started my freshman year as a wide receiver in DB. And then we lost our senior kicker, and they were looking for someone. And I played soccer for a while. So I just knew coming on that they would want me to try that out. And I liked it, and I did pretty well.
So when you were able to kind of get the kicking thing going, for you to be able to make sure, because let's be honest, kicking is not really the main focus, although I think it's starting to now. But for the longest time, I remember that a lot of teams didn't even have kickers. They would just go for two and, away we go. But now we're starting to see the importance of field position, good punting. I saw that today up in Derby. They were practicing their special teams, and there was one kid who could punt the what out of the football, and he was pinning it inside the 5 almost every single punt. And I'll be hopefully seeing that on Friday because that will be a lot of fun. But for you, the kicking aspect, you said you played soccer. I'm a former soccer player myself. The kicking aspect, is it the same kind of the side of the foot? Are you kicking a little bit differently? Is the swing still the same? Talk to me about that.
Uh, I thought that going into it, it would be a lot different than kicking a soccer ball, but
Mhm.
I think that it's a lot more similar than I thought, and it's a whole process. We don't really have like anyone to like there to like help me like on my form, but like I'm doing pretty well at it.
How hyped does Brian get, Coach Mazzone, when you make a field goal?
He likes it a lot. I mean, being able to get 3 points on a drive, it's very important, even like now.
Yeah, he would know too because the Giants struggled to score for a long time until they came back against the Cardinals. I'm sorry,
Yep.
coach. Just being honest. But hey, the Giants won, so good for them.
hmm
So as you entered your junior year, man, I mentioned before about the defensive side. Obviously, you're still doing the kicking, but you have a new position, and hence why you're here for the Defensive Player of the Week. How did the safety position end up finding you this season?
Um, I think we have a lot of really good athletes that we could put at DB.
Mhm,
And going into the season, I really didn't know where I was going to play, if I was going to play safety, corner,
mhm.
but we ended up deciding on me playing safety. So,
And when you were told that safety was going to be your position, like how, what was your response to that?
I mean, any way to get on the field, really. That's pretty much what I'm trying to do. Just get on the field.
Was there any, obviously there had to be an adjustment for you, but what were some of the things that maybe were difficult early on with the position?
I think just like the craft of it. I mean, even like corner and safety are two different positions. They're similar, but like different things go into it. And I mean,
Mhm.
just being able to guard like these athletic people, just that's your job at that position. So it's just definitely hard translating it from JV to varsity.
And with it being from the JV to varsity, obviously the talent's a little bit better. The speed is
Mhm.
also much quicker. But what was something that you felt like over the course of time? Now, I know it's still kind of early and you're only one game in, but do you feel like that the position's starting to become a little bit more understandable, especially now that you've had a couple weeks in between Ellington game? I know week 2, obviously you played, but are you seeing a little bit of growth from you?
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of growth. I mean, I just gotta play with confidence every single play. That's one of the biggest things I feel like at a position like mine, just playing with confidence.
Is there anybody either on the staff or players that's been kind of helping you through your your
I
progression
think
defensively?
Logan Wolf has been helping out a lot. He doesn't play as much safety anymore. I know he started there last year, but he's really been helping, just helping me get down what I need to know and just helping me become a better safety.
What are some of the things that he's been, trying to help you with?
I mean, really, he knows playbooks. He knows that formation, all that, like the back of his hand. So I just thought that he was really it would help me understand the field better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very important as a safety.
So if there's a certain, not to say you don't know the plays, but obviously you're still adjusting, right? Because you have so many things going through your head.
Yeah.
So whoever's calling the plays, either Mazzone or the DC or whoever, if they're giving a call and let's say you only know half of it, are you looking to Logan to be like, hey, what's the what play is this? Are you looking at him for that?
I think I have a good enough relationship with most of the DBs on our team that I can pretty much just look at anyone and they can give it to me. But I think that for the most part, I've got the defensive plays down pretty well.
So week two, you played Adam Killingworth. You guys were able to win in a pretty one-sided affair. Obviously, you had 8 tackles. You made a 31-yard field goal, had a pick, 2 for 3 for extra points and such. But mainly the defensive side is why you're here for the defensive player of the week. As you were preparing for that game, I'm sure there was a lot of anticipation because the week one game with the weather and such. So for you guys as a team, and more so for you specifically, how hard was it to kind of not so much turn the page because there was really nothing turned the page to because you guys didn't play. So how was that mentally for you going into week two?
I think week one, for the little time we played defense, I did a pretty bad job. I mean, just first start, had some jitters or whatever, messed up a couple times. And
Hmm.
I thought that it was really important to make sure it didn't happen this week. And I think I did a pretty good job of making sure it didn't happen.
Did anyone, either Coach Mazzone or one of the coaches, kind of give you a little pep talk before the game?
I mean, Mazzone always tells us, the reason why we're starting because he believes in us. So I just gotta remember that and know why I'm out there.
So as you were performing against Haddon Killingworth, you talked about the kind of what you were doing wrong in week one in the shortened game. And, obviously getting the tackles kind of gets the blood going. You start feeling confident. You get the pick. That makes you feel fantastic. Um, do you feel like that like at what point of the game did you start to feel like things were changing for the better for you?
Um, I thought that after the first couple series, I was a little nervous. I was like, all right, we're doing pretty well. Not really letting up any yards. And I think just as the game progressed, I just got more confident. And by like the third or fourth quarter, I didn't even like realize this is my first like full varsity game. And it's like
Hmm.
I just I just got way more confident as the game went on.
So are you the kind of safety like, kind of like Jamal Adams, get down and dirty, go for the tackles, or are you more like Sauce where you just want to cover? Which one are you?
I try my best to do both as best as I can.
Which one do you feel like you're better at if you had to pick?
I'd probably say more of a Jamal Adams helping more in the run game.
Okay. It's coincidentally enough, they're both well, Jamal Adams used to be a Jet. Obviously, he's not now, but and then Sauce, who's fantastic, only 2 years
Yeah.
in. So, but that's pretty interesting. I've noticed that amongst the safeties in today's game at the high school level in Connecticut, where they're not afraid to go down. Like years ago, it used to be okay, your job is to go cover and that's it. But the game has started to evolve, and I'm sure you've noticed that where there's more to be asked from the players. Have you noticed that too?
I definitely have, but I definitely think it's needed, especially for such a small team like us. I mean, just
Mhm.
give 100% of your effort every play. That's pretty much what he's telling us to do.
And you did that against HK and like I mentioned, a win. And to get that first win under your guys' belt, I mean, what was it like when the game was over and you guys won?
It was, I was happy, but that's only one game of 10 down, so we just got to keep going forward and improve from here.
What is the mentality, man, as far as kind of not even so much the mentality, but what's the motto that Coach Mazzone has you guys prepared for every single week? Do you have a saying or anything?
Our saying right now is "Who are we?" And really, it's just about I feel like the last 2 years we've been hyped up a lot, and I
Hmm.
think this year teams are finally like stop talking about us, and I think now is the perfect time to show them who we really are and who we are as a team.
Well, when I look at the Pequot, man, obviously Gilbert Northwestern, Housatonic just joined the NVL last year, and seeing some of that Pequot, because again, never really saw the Pequot until they joined, and seeing what they brought to the NVL, smash mouth, blue collar, gritty football. And I know the Pequot's got that with Cromwell Portland, obviously the Stafford Co-op and such, Granby Canton and all that. Playing in the Pequot really, I feel, in Rockville and others, I feel like really prepare you for the playoffs. What says you?
Yeah, I definitely think that very it's a very tough game mentally and physically in this, just going against anyone in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that it's really just about how tough these teams are, and I think it's just about how tough we are.
I want to go back to your comment because you talked about kind of who are we, as you mentioned. That's the saying, that's the motto this year. So if somebody was to ask, okay, who's Jack Harvell? Who's Bubba Harvell? Who are you exactly as a player?
I try to do whatever the coaches ask me to my full potential. I don't really know. Coaches put me out there because they know what I can do, and I just do what they tell me to do.
Are you the kind of player, man, that is better at not thinking, just reacting, or are you more of a thinker and then you have to react?
I'm still trying to figure that one out myself. I don't really know. I'm still getting used to this whole thing, so just taking it one step at a time.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, obviously you got a lot of time. You're only a junior,
Yep.
getting a lot of varsity minutes and obviously getting valuable reps that will help you heading into not just the rest of this season, but your senior year as well. Jack, I appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on being the defensive player of the week. Before I let you go really fast, obviously I have a ton of respect for Coach Mazzone. Is there anything that he has told you during the early portion of your career that has really stuck with you currently right now?
I just They talked about the end of last year about how much I've grown through last year, and I really do think back on it. How my freshman year, I don't think I started a single JV game, and now I'm here already. So I just want to keep getting better from here.
Jack, you're doing a great thing. Keep it up, buddy. Congratulations and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you for having me.
Always. Now wrap things up here in the CT Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connected Talent. I'm Find them all. Do this your day, everybody, and be well.